What's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look today at the Winnipeg Jets. Now, there's a lot going on in Winnipeg right now because I think depending on what they do with their next head coach is going to say a lot about the direction of this team. So I'm making this video kind of, I don't know enough to really decide what's going to happen because let's say they bring in a college head coach this season, right? They don't go with the coaching carousel. They don't go with Dubois. They don't go with Trotz, who obviously is the guy the Jets want. If it's not one of those guys and it's some young guy, well, then you're kind of seeing a different narrative for the Jets, right? You're seeing a team that's sort of rebuilding, retooling, whatever you want to call it, and just resetting things. But like I said, if they get a Barry Trotz, they're going to look to win now. So as I'm making this video, I'm kind of saying to myself, I'm going to pick one side and kind of go with what I think they're going to do at this moment. But very easily that could change. So with that said, let's get into it. So we have some updates on Pierre-Luc Dubois, Mark Schiefele, and what I think is going to happen this summer. Because the Jets have a lot of contracts to kind of figure out this year. They have a bunch of restricted free agents. So this is what we've got. A couple UFAs as well. So defense is going to look practically the same and pretty much fully intact. So no changes to the defense. Forward-wise, though, that's not the case at all. Half their forward core or half their forward group is up for a new contract. So all of these guys are restricted free agents. Mason Appleton, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Jansen Harkins, and Evgeny Svechnikov. For UFAs, Adam Brooks, who is a UFA Group 6, which I believe something because of his draft status or because he was claimed from Toronto. There's some weird, funky stuff with that. And then regular UFAs, Zach Sanford and Paul Stastny. So my predictions for who goes. I think Svechnikov and Paul Stastny are gone. Stastny may even retire. The guy's 36 years old. He definitely missed a step this season, and I wonder if Stastny is going through the season. He's going to look to see if he could get a contract, but I think at the end of the day, come October, come training camp, the fall, I do think he ends up announcing his retirement. Unless there is somewhere he absolutely wants to go and there's a good fit, and they're going to give him the role that he wants, probably third-line center. Unless that happens, I do think Stastny will hang them up, and it'll be a shame. I mean, it's always nice having a Stastny in the NHL, right? Peter Stastny, now Paul Stastny. It's going to be the end of an era, right? So we'll see what happens there. I do think Stastny leaves. Zach Sanford could leave as well. I'm going with that he will leave. So we'll go with those two guys. I think Evgeny Svechnikov leaves. And everybody else is sort of up for grabs, including Dubois. So this is from Jeff Merrick. There haven't been any contract talks between Pierre-Luc Dubois and the Winnipeg Jets. Guys, Dubois was a monster this season. You guys saw him coming into training camp. He looked like an animal. He looked like a monster out there. His jacked up legs, big shoulders. He was ready to go. He was motivated from last year. I think he was really upset with how things went in Winnipeg in his first season. Really was disappointed. A lot of discontent from Dubois. He turned that into something, and that's great. I'm really happy for Dubois. He had a great season all year, from training camp in the preseason up until the end of the season. I really like Dubois' fire and his game, and he's going to get a pretty good ticket. This is a guy that right now is 23 years old. Like I said, RFA eligible, an RFA with arbitration rights. So he doesn't have a ton of say in a contract discussion. But if he doesn't want to re-sign, that could be a problem for the Jets. But again, I guess they could be looking at it as, well, we just go to arbitration. If he doesn't want to re-sign, we want to keep him. That could be what ends up happening. We have an update as well on Mark Schiefele. Mark Schiefele, we talked about him maybe getting traded. He's got 2 years left at a little over $6 million per season on his contract. It's looking more likely than not that the 29-year-old forward will return to Winnipeg. This is from, let me see who this is. Mike Zeisberger. Very, very interesting. He says Mark Schiefele is expected to remain with the Winnipeg Jets for next season. I think that's more along the lines of maybe they aren't shopping him as we first thought they were. That does make sense. Again, if you want to keep this core together, right? You've got Kyle Connor, who's one of the best players in the league, one of the best contracts in the league. He's getting paid just a little over $7 million per season until 2026. That's a sweetheart deal. I don't care who thinks otherwise. That's a great contract. Blake Wheeler, again, he's still making a lot of money, but he's coming on the end of his deal. So I think it comes down to, again, when Scheifele's 31, are they in a rebuild or are they still legitimate? And that could very much change in the next 2 years from when his contract ends. So I think they're going to play the wait and see game. If they get Barry Trotz, and they could very easily turn this thing around. I do believe that. But again, if they go with a younger coach and the mindset that maybe we are going to look to retool. I made a video about Connor Hellebuyck maybe getting traded. And shout out to the Jets fans out there. You guys commented a lot on that video about Hellebuyck and Schiefele. But a lot of you, surprisingly, were okay with trading Hellebuyck. This has been one of the best goaltenders in the league. And I think that the value they could get for him if they are in a rebuild. Again, you have to remember the mindset here, right? I look at the Ducks. Look at the Anaheim Ducks. They have John Gibson, right? Really good goaltender. But the team hasn't been very good in front of him. So that frustrates a guy. And you could argue, I don't know, I can't get in Hellebuck's head, but you have to think that's got to be frustrating. Competitive guys don't like to lose. And when you're standing on your head every night and getting 30, 40 plus shots every game, and you're stopping 90% of them, that is frustrating. So when you're looking at a situation where Hellebuyck is, if this team isn't in a cup window, he's 29 years old, his contract ends in 2024, do you want to get ahead of that curve where you have the reality 2 years from now, well, he's just not going to re-sign at 31 years old. So the Jets have to be careful with what they do with Hellebuyck here, because if you wait till next season, now he's considered a rental because he's in the final year of his deal. So you have to be careful because now you're going to get less value for a guy like Hellebuyck, and you want maximum value for Hellebuyck. You don't want to sacrifice anything. And he's in the prime of his NHL career. And if the Jets aren't a playoff team, it's best for him. And quite frankly, it's best for the organization if they did move on. Of course, there were lots of Jets fans that were like, what are you smoking? Trading Hellebuyck. But listen, if they're not in a cup window, it doesn't make sense to keep him around. So we'll probably get more updates on that. I think that's something to keep an eye on. The Dubois front is obviously something that's gaining a lot of traction here because if it goes to arbitration, do they wait all the way till August to figure this thing out? Do they wait till July? We got to kind of wait and see there. And the Jets need a backup goalie. I don't think they're going to go with Eric Comrie. So this summer, I could see them trying to just re-sign a lot of their guys like Appleton, Dubois, Harkins, and then obviously getting a backup goalie. I think that's the only real active thing the Jets will do. But let me know what you guys think down below. What do you think happens with Pierre-Luc Dubois? Should they consider even consider trading Pierre-Luc Dubois with his value so high? Do you think they take him to arbitration? Let me know what you think. And of course, for our backup, who would you like to see be the backup of the Winnipeg Jets next season? Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.